Good morning, everybody. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll start with the invocation. Mark Waters.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mark.
This is called the Prayer of Eusebius. Eusebius was a Christian scholar. He was known as the father of church history, and he lived in the 4th century, so this is a very old prayer. May I be no man's enemy, and may I be the friend of that which is eternal and abides. May I never quarrel with those nearest me, and if I do, may I be reconciled quickly. May I love, seek, and attain only that which is good. May I wish for all men's happiness and envy none. May I never rejoice in the ill fortune of one who has wronged me. When I have done or said what is wrong, may I never wait for the rebuke of others, but always rebuke myself until I make amends. May I win no victory that harms either me or my opponent. May I reconcile friends who are angry with one another. May I never fail a friend who is in danger. When visiting those in grief, may I be able to be gentle in healing words to soften their pain. May I respect myself. May I always tame that which rages within me. May I accustom myself to be gentle and never be angry with people because of circumstances. May I never discuss who is wicked and what wicked things he has done, but know good men and follow in their footsteps. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mark. And Jim Jandro is not here today, so Ed Callan has stepped up to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ed. Next, we have employee recognition. Angelique, are you going to present that?
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
So this month, I have the pleasure to not only announce one employee of the month, we have another one. So we have 2 for this month. So if I can ask Pedro Sanchez and Nancy DeCantis to come up.
Is it safety numbers? You are Nancy.
So with Pedro Sanchez, he works in environmental services. In less than 6 months, Pedro has shown our community his passion, hard work, and dedication through his loyalty, commitment, and work ethic. His experience speaks for itself. Pedro comes from a family of hard workers and takes pride in his daily work, including his ability and willingness to wear multiple hats to get the job done. We are grateful to have him on board with us. And lastly, certainly not least, Nancy DeCantis. Nancy has been with us for almost a year now and has recently been promoted to a guest services liaison position. Her time as a concierge has given her many opportunities to expand her knowledge about Cyprus, as well as demonstrate her willingness to always go above and beyond to assist our residents as well as her fellow associates. Nancy is also a member of the Culture Committee, and she loves to bring new ideas to the table, and she loves to be involved in any activity we host. She truly is a go-getter, so congratulations. And I also want to take the opportunity, she was scheduled off today, but we do have a rookie of the month. Her name is Janaea Harris. She is a server. Janaea has made quite an impact on the dining team since joining us. She is a joy to be around and is always is always a smiling face for our residents. We are lucky to have her on our team, and we are reaping the benefits of her great work ethic and hard work.
You got that right.
Jonea is a recent high school graduate and is joining the military next year. We congratulate her on her recent graduation and aim to assist her in preparing for a future, defending our country in any way we can. So congratulations to her as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Added employee recognition to the community meeting. It's fun to see some of the staff that's excelling in their positions. This morning, we're going to hear from Linda Daughtry. Is that right?
Close. Don't worry about it.
I just can't get her name right. I just can't. I think I need one-on-one lessons. But Linda's going to talk about the community fund, the second quarter she's going to go over, and she's also going to talk about the resident advisory council nominations. Linda?
I'm going to do the Residents Advisory Council nominations first, and then I'll go into the community fund statements. Each year, the Residents Council holds an election to fill open seats and to maintain the 7-member council. Since each person is elected for a 2-year term, 1 year there will be 3 seats open, the next year there will be 4 seats open. And this ensures both continuity and new people for each council. The president of the RAC appoints the chair of the nominating committee, and that is my role this year. The residents chosen to serve on the nominating committee this year are Ken Barber, Maze Barnett, Jackie Bussey, Kate Pierce, Rosemary Creepy, I know Rosemary's here, and Nancy Rochester is also here. They bring perspectives from both areas of the community, houses and the towners. Our charge is to produce a slate of qualified candidates, and to do that, we need for residents to volunteer. These are the people you should approach if you are interested in running, but you must do it now. You each received a flyer with the committee members' contact information. So if anybody we haven't heard from has an interest, please get in touch with one of those folks. The last date for notification of potential candidacy is a week from today, September 20th. This is the year that 3 seats are open. Those seats are currently held by Louise Fontecchio, Jim Jondro, and Mark Waters. Mark has decided not to run for re-election. Louise and Jim are eligible to run and have decided to do so. Each of them is well qualified and has done a great job, but their seat is still considered open, and the results of the election that will run over a period towards the end of October through the November community meeting will determine who fills those 3 seats. Any questions? Any volunteers? Hopefully, we're doing pretty good with volunteers, but we can always use more. Okay, in your package, we actually have the Cypress Village Community Fund second quarter financial statements. And this month, they're big enough to read. So this shows the beginning balance is as of the end of the first quarter, March 31st of 2022. The income and disbursements are the income and disbursements that were recorded during the quarter, April, May, June. And the ending balance shows the balance for each organization within the community fund as of June 30th. The numbers at the bottom of the page that are labeled savings, checking, and Vanguard are where the money resides. The savings and checking accounts are at Wells Fargo. And you will notice the difference between the ending balance in the 3 investment, savings and investment options and the amount that's attributed to the organizations. That difference is unrealized gains at this point in the Vanguard account, and that difference belongs to to the Fant Fund, the Hunt Fund, and the Perkins Fund. It does not impact at all the resident-run clubs, etc., because that money is not invested in Vanguard. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda, as always. The next up is the treasurer's report, and after Wendy gives the treasurer's report, she's going to go into the healthcare committee.
Good morning. As of the end of August, we had $1,247.97. And that was after a contribution to the Cypress Village log, $350. Now, all of this money comes from Coffee Chat. And you can see the income from Coffee Chat varies widely from $53 in the beginning of August to $11. Why aren't you all coming out? The tradition of putting $1 in the middle of the table as a donation to this fund. This is the Residents Advisory Council Fund. That tradition started in the very beginning of Cypress Village. I just read about it. So come on, keep the tradition flowing. Keep our Cypress Village traditions going. As far as the healthcare committee, I want to hold up one person who has done an extraordinary job for Parkinson's disease, and I want to let you all know about the wonderful work that Nancy Rochester, who is a member of the healthcare committee, has done. She's researched, she's tenacious, she worked and developed a resource for Parkinson's disease, which includes websites and various support groups. Not only that, but she provided us with 10 facts about Parkinson's disease. So if anyone is interested in getting these documents, see Nancy Rochester or myself. We're a member of the Healthcare Committee. Again, thank you, Nancy. You provided wonderful service. If I could just go on a little longer, I want to talk about the support groups. The support groups, one for Parkinson's, is not well attended, and I scratch my head trying to figure out why, because fortunately right now I don't have it, but if I did, boy, when I want the support and caring of the people in the support group, I wouldn't want to sit by myself with the disease and coping with all of it. So if you know anyone who has Parkinson's, if you have Parkinson's, please try to get to a support group. It can only do you good. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Next up is Louise Fontecchio. She's going to talk to us a little bit about activities, or what they're doing in the activities committee, I should say.
Thank you. Seems like I'm up here almost every community meeting because we're doing so much stuff in activities now that I always have something to talk to you about. One of the things I really want to stress this month, well, there's two things I want to stress this month. One of them is the importance of Lisa's monthly group activities meeting, the activities planning meeting. You know, it's great to have the activities committee, and we sit down and we meet with Lisa and we talk about things that she's got planned and things that you all have suggested and try to give her our ideas. But you know what? Our ideas are filtered. Your ideas go straight to Lisa if you come to that monthly meeting. And I'm shocked at how few people usually come, because we sit here and we hear everybody go, you know, why don't we do, or why doesn't she think about, or why can't we? She can't hear those things if you're saying them in a small group in the dining room. She can hear them if you'll come to the Friday, like fourth Friday activities meeting right after coffee chat, And you can come to coffee chat and hear what's going on and then stay for the activities meeting. So I really want to encourage you to do that. And you think, well, my voice isn't heard. Well, it is. You've asked for more music. There's music every Friday night and almost every Tuesday night, and different kinds of music. You've asked for more things to be done here. This month we have 2 wonderful, wonderful lectures. One that I hope you came to on the planetarium and the planets, and one that's coming up next week about music. That's a professor from UNF. More things here you've asked for. You've asked for more resident input on movies. All the movies that are being shown come from suggestions. You've asked for more restaurants. Well, guess what? We're now doing weekly lunch outings because of the long waiting lists for lunch outings. Where did that come from? It came from you all. So your voice is heard, and she really wants you to come. Now, that brings me to something else. The activity committee voted yesterday to ask Lisa to please begin enforcing the $10 fee, fine, whatever it is, for failure to come to something you've signed up for. Now, why did the committee do this? Because there are so many people on the waiting lists that don't get to go, and the bus leaves here with vacant seats. Why does the bus leave here with vacant seats? Because somebody leaves a message at 8 o'clock at night on the activities phone saying, I can't go tomorrow morning at 8:30. Well, how is she supposed to get a hold of somebody on the waiting list at midnight and say, hey, come on and go tomorrow morning? Even if she calls them at 8 o'clock that morning, are they going to get dressed and run down and hop on the bus? When you cancel at the last minute, you're hurting another resident who wanted to do that activity, signed up for it, and doesn't get to go, and the bus leaves with a vacant seat. That's not fair. It's not fair to the residents on the waiting list. We can't come drag you out of your room and make you go. But what we can do is say, when you're inconsiderate, because you sign up for 5 activities and cancel on 3 of them at the last minute, there's got to be some incentive to you not to do that, to help those residents who are on the waiting list. So we voted unanimously yesterday to ask her to please begin to enforce, and to ask her to ask management to please begin to enforce that penalty. You have to cancel within 24 hours. 8 o'clock at night is not 24 hours for 8:30 the next morning.
And if $10 isn't enough and it keeps happening, up it to 25.
And in fact, we asked her to make it 20 yesterday, and she said, well, I can't just do that overnight, there's a process. But yes, the committee has said, let's see if the enforcement of the 10 works through the end of this year, and if it doesn't work through the end of this year, let's up it in January. I mean, and it's not because we want to punish people, of course we don't. We just want other residents to have the opportunity to do the things that, that they've signed up for. So, if you get sick at the last minute, there's exceptions to every rule. But, most people know more than 24 hours ahead of time if you've got a doctor's appointment, or if you've just decided maybe this isn't an activity you want to do. Those kinds of things can't cancel, and don't just wait till 24 hours. If you know, cancel ahead of time so you can give, Lisa and her team the opportunity to try to contact those people on the waiting list. One other quick point, and then I'll be done. If you're on the waiting list for something, and it's something you really want to do, and you're willing to do it, you get dressed and come down to the train lobby where the bus is leaving 15 minutes before the bus is going to leave, and you very well may get a chance to actually do it, because a couple of times I've done that. Now, is that what you should have to do? Of course not. But if you really want to do it, the bus has left with empty seats quite a few times, and a couple of times I've been in one of those empty seats because I did get up and go down. So, that's not to say that if 50 people are standing there, all 50 are going to get to go. Of course not. But, you know, if one or two people come, you may get to go, okay? So hopefully, we'll see people, you know, signing up for things they really want to do, and then when you can't do it, you know, cancel. And please come to those activity committee planning meetings.
Thank you, Louise. Next up is Lester. Let's see if I can pronounce your last name. Ruiz. But it's hard.
You'd be surprised how many people mess that up. Not pointing any fingers. Good morning, everyone. Just have a couple of updates. The number one update is the staffing in the housekeeping department. We've been kind of struggling with a couple of temp agencies. The temp agencies are also struggling getting people to be able to get people to us. Today I started with a new temp agency. They're called Y Staffing. We signed the paperwork and all that last week. Today they sent me about 5 people. But we were sitting in a good place today. I want to kind of explain what a day looks like in the housekeeping department right now. My office looks like a dispatch center. We're literally waiting in the morning. Natalie and I, along with Sandra in the healthcare and Ernesto in assisted living, which I think all of them, they're all amazing. We're usually getting here about 6:30 a.m., 7 o'clock, seeing who's here, with dispatching them to the different areas they gotta go, different floors, different apartments. So it's been a little bit hard to keep up with the schedule and make sure that they're at your door at the exact times that we were given to you all. That in the future will be better. They're all working hard. We're all working very, very hard along, together to be able to give you all those services. And as soon as we get a full staff in our department, we will be more accurate and more consistent when it comes to being at your door at the right time. I want to thank you all for your patience. You all have been great to us, and the feedback that we get in the hallways and the compliments, all that just motivates everyone to do an even better job for our community. So thank you all for all that. I want to take the time, unfortunately, they're not here because they're probably somewhere working, but I do want to thank Natalie, Sandra, Ernesto, Taisha, and everybody in my team. Pedro, number one. I mean, thank you for everything you do. And when you see them in the hallways or in common areas, please help me thank them and let's appreciate them, because they all do a wonderful job. And everybody's a little stretched out right now, but the people that we have here are doing such an amazing job. They're picking up extra. A lot of them are working an extra day or a few extra hours to be able to make sure that we get everything done. And it's times like this where we know who the good ones are, when we know who the loyal ones are, the committed ones, and the ones that we can count on, absolutely. And I gotta be grateful that I have quite a few of them in my department. So the staffing agencies that we got today, Y Staffing, I feel really good about the quality of the employees that they're sending us as well. It's amazing. I had 2 of them with me this morning that were doing the main lobby with me, and they just went right at it. There's very little training, and to me that goes a long way when we're at where we're at right now. So that's awesome. I wanted to thank all of them and thank you all. I think that's as far. Does anybody have any questions? I know this is not, but any questions I can answer right now? No? All right, well, you guys are easy, quiet. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody, so much. See you around.
Thank you, Lester. We appreciate you every day. Next up is Ty Morgan, our Executive Director, who's going to give us some community updates.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Lester.
Thank you, sir.
Housekeeping is really working hard behind the scenes. He didn't, touch on this, but we're still roughly 5 to 6 employees away from being fully staffed. So you can imagine what kind of juggling act him and his team need to accomplish to keep things going every day. So thank you, Lester. I have a few updates I want to share, not too much. I'm going to start off on behalf of Hector Gonzalez in Dining Services. I've got 5 items he asked me to touch on briefly. I'm going to start with Middleton's Salad Bar. Very hot topic around the village, as I understand it. So, Mike likes it. Mikey likes it. Well, the salad bar is going to go back to being a salad bar versus pre-made. I know some of you like how it is now. There's another big, large group that like it as it was. I have filled in Hector historically as to what the pros and cons were of both. So what he is going to try and take a stab at here, he's already ordered the equipment to enhance the salad bar. The equipment that he has ordered is related to the inserts. So we're going to have smaller inserts, which are going to increase the availability of items. New dressing containers with multiple options to meet all of the resident needs. He's going to try and approach it with a couple different items, see which ones work the best. Once we see which ones are the best choice for our residents, we're going to elect those, but we're going to try several. And as I mentioned, those new smaller inserts, we have a lot of residents now that are very diet conscious, okay? They like plant-based meat, they like plant-based items, they have vegetarian likes as well, or vegetarian, strict vegetarian. These additional inserts are going to allow us to add additional proteins and or vegetables to the salad bar to hopefully meet the needs of the greater population here at Cypress Village. So I wish Hector all the best in that endeavor. We'll see how that goes. Let's give him a chance and see what happens. Number 2 is server training. He just wanted me to touch on this because I believe a lot of residents have talked to him about the training that we have in place. They did just roll out a new server training with the team. Servers that are the most tenured, consistent, and reliable are being promoted into 4600. 4600 is like the pinnacle of where a server could be within Cypress Village. It's like a step ladder in promotions as well as compensation. So any servers you see in 4600 now or in the future have earned that opportunity. The step-up program, just so all residents know, he wanted me to mention this. So when we hire in a new server with very limited experience, they start as a food runner or a busser, or bussing tables. Then they are promoted into a Middleton server, then to a 4600 East server. That's basically the progression of the servers. So if you did not know that, you know it now. Number 3, dish machine, just really quick. We are going to be undergoing an upgrade to the dish machine. I do not have the date at this time. We're waiting to hear from Procter & Gamble as to when that will take place. We don't expect it to be more than a couple days of being down. Again, I don't want to quote anything that I don't know, but in the near future we will have to go from normal cutlery and plates to paper just for a brief period of time. I just wanted to get that out there to everybody so it wasn't a surprise. Key personnel update within dining services specifically. We have hired Dina Patterson. She is the new assisted living dining room supervisor. She's a mature gal. She's been a dynamite since she's hit the floor. We're very excited to have her. And that has been a big area of need for us for quite some time. She's going to train with Lindsay down here probably for another week, but then her permanent slot is going to be up in assisted living. Patrick Aiken starts today. I hope he showed up. I haven't made it through the kitchen, but he's here. Angie can confirm. We have our second sous chef here, Patrick Aiken, and he comes to us from one of our friendly competitors, Fleet Landing, so we're glad to have Patrick. It's his first day today, and we'll introduce him to the community as we get him settled in. This is not a new addition, but I did want to reference this. Mr. Raul Vega, which most of you know and love, he's just a great guy. He has actually been promoted. His new home is the Loon's Nest Kitchen, and he's the lead cook there. So, there's been many residents that have referenced his hard work and his abilities, and believe me, we heard those, and we mentioned that to Hector and Ben, and they have given him the opportunity to take on the Loon's Nest, and he really, really feels like he owns it. So if you see Raul, congratulate him. And last but not least, there is a vacant new position that is to be hired. I think we've got a candidate that you all know. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but there is a new position that Hector is going to create. He's going to reallocate dollars, reallocate full-time employees to make this happen, but it's going to be a dining manager. So what happens now a lot, you'll see Lindsay trying to cover 3 different locations. She's in the main dining room, she shoots over to Loon's Nest, then she pops up to assisted living. It's not really the model we want to be at long term. We really want the Lindsays of the world, the Hectors of the world to be touching tables, engaging with residents, seeing what they can do to improve the experience. So this dining room manager will be an additional manager on the floor each day. So Hector's vision is to have 2 managers on the floors at all time to service the venues. So we'll see how that works out, and as soon as if that individual that I referenced that you all know and love is the individual that is going to take the job, does everybody already know? Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Katie's shaking her head. Yeah. Don't say it. Shut up. She didn't say that, did you? Last but not least on dining services is the Loon's Nest. Hector wanted me to reference some modest changes to the Loon's Nest that are underway currently. One of the first changes planned is reconfiguring the space to accommodate additional patrons and larger parties. So a lot of these tables have been, I think, capped off at 4 people. And I know there's some residents out there that I'm looking at that every time I walk through the Loon's Nest, I get berated as to why. So Hector and Jen and the team are looking at ways we can reconfigure the space to allow for bigger groups, upward of 6, maybe even more residents. So that's one item. The other item is that he said that will also improve the traffic flow. And before I move on to the next topic regarding the Loon's Nest, I don't see him out there today, but we have a resident bartender. I don't know if you've met Ned, but Ned has done a fantastic job. Ned, you're not here out there, but I want to give you a big round of applause. Thank you for everything you've done. All right, that's it for dining. I'm going to move on to a sore subject. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as I possibly can. But I do want everybody to know it's very serious and it's very frustrating, but I can assure you that we are doing everything we can possibly do with the elevators here in Cypress Village. It has been probably the roughest last couple months in my 14 years here based on the elevators just being down. I want to try and give you the quick whys they are down. So everybody, I don't know if there's rumors going on out there. I'm sure there are, but in the D elevator, we had a motherboard that went bad on the left side. Then we had multiple fuses on the fuse board that were blown out. And then a broken cable in the door caused some downtime as well. So that was D elevator. The B elevator was knocked off the track, I guess, and the alignment was off, which caused a little bit of disruption there as well. The what are we doing with the elevator issues? We're awaiting some parts, of course, on the C and D elevators to complete the project. Maori Elevator, who is our servicer, has committed to have the elevators up and running within a calendar week, which is 7 days. Dave Green, as well as myself, have escalated the urgency of our issues to the corporate levels of both LCS and Maori Elevators with the hopes of facilitating repairs based on the severity and need of our population here and the disruption it's causing. If we don't have any luck there, we may have to escalate it to the state level. We really don't want to do that. We're partners with Maori. Not an ideal situation for us to do, but believe me, we are taking care of it. Residents ask, why don't you just replace the elevators? Why are you putting money into other things other than the elevators? If you do a little research on elevators, which Katie and I actually delved into yesterday, you will see that an elevator that is built, the only thing, you can't remove an elevator and put an elevator in. All you can do is modernize it to the current mechanics of what the elevators have now. We have done that to every single elevator in this building, which is hard to believe based on how much they're out. The only, that wasn't a joke. But the only elevator, and this is the irony of it, the only elevator that has not had the modernization done is the C elevator, which is probably the most reliable besides B. The C elevator's modernization project has been approved and issued a PO for over 8 months. Maori doesn't have the equipment to do that modernization. So it's been approved. I promise everybody in this room throughout the community, we are doing everything we can to keep the elevators running. The next question that I hear about the elevators is, why don't you fire Maori and hire ThyssenKrupp or Miami-Dade, one of these other elevator companies? Well, that sounds like a great idea. It is a monopoly of sorts. There's only a handful of elevator companies in the country that you can utilize. We've done that before in the past. If we go to an Otis or we go to a Miami-Dade or another provider, ThyssenKrupp, guess where they have to buy the parts? Maui. So is that going to do us any good? Absolutely not. So again, just to put a ribbon on elevators, you have my commitment. We're doing everything. I do apologize for the disruptions. It is very frustrating. So next topic, train lobby and train room. I do apologize for the delays since the demolition and restoration of that particular area. It's been over a month. Due to the delays in settling and finalizing the actual claim itself, I have authorized the blue team contractors to come back in. They're supposed to be here tomorrow, but no later than the end of the week, to fix the ceilings, lighting, repaint, install the baseboards, re-shampoo the carpets, put the furniture back to make it look as much as it looked like prior to the fire itself. So we hope to have that completed by the end of the week. They have committed that to me, their lips to my ears, so we will see how that goes. That'll also allow us to remove the furniture and plants out of the train lobby, OMR, and put those back where they belong. So I do apologize for the delay. The claim still has not been finalized. We're still waiting for a final claim amount. Once that happens, we will go through with a full renovation of the area. So more to come on that. Let's talk about the train room. So we are still in the due diligence phase of determining what the future space will be used for. There was a survey that went out to all residents, and we got a pretty decent response. I wouldn't say as grand as we would have hoped, but we got a pretty good response. And thank you for those that did participate in it. There were some great ideas, concepts, thoughts for the future of the space. To share some of the information we received and extracted from the survey, obviously one of the options was, from many residents, was to return it back to a model train space. They said it was very unique to the community. Family, friends, and visitors always enjoyed viewing the train when they were here. It was a great conversation piece for visitors and prospects, and it was very unique compared to our other competitors. So those were the positives regarding that. I do have a disclaimer for it being, restored to a model train room, and that is really the need for us to understand the perils of the insurance policy after the claim is settled, as well as any potential barriers that may exist relative to the insurability. So we will see. I don't know much about that. I'm just throwing that out there. The other options, I'm going to layer these in and summarize them because there were quite a few. How I would summarize it is a cultural arts corridor center of sorts. It included a movie theater, an auditorium for multiple uses, college lectures, music recitals and other small concerts, learn how to play a musical instrument, engage in higher education, wall Scrabble, other gaming opportunities, chorus rehearsals, those type of events. Disclaimer to that would be, on a positive side, it would take some pressure off the OMR, and we could designate that as a more purpose-built space, as well as Ebert Hall to provide additional outlet and designated space for specific functions. So, If anyone has yet to complete the survey and you are interested in completing it, I believe Katie is going to resend it out today. And more to come as we figure out the finalization of the claim. Landscaping, just a couple key points there. Tree Amigos has dispatched additional resources to help with any of the deferred work and projects that are outstanding. Their contract is coming up here real soon, so we've got their attention to get things up to speed. Kiosks, they completed Goldcrest. I looked at it this morning, actually yesterday morning as well. Myrika and Gordonia are next on the list, followed by William Davis Parkway. So that should be a nice enhancement to your drive into the community as you come by the kiosks or pick up your mail. I'll wrap it up with just some other personnel updates and hires. This was a big hole we've had, or gap that we've been trying to fill. In the community life services area, we have hired and started 2 new activity coordinators, one in assisted living and one in memory care. Both of them started yesterday. We've got Deja Curse in memory care, and we've got Caitlin Faye Buckley in assisted living. And we also have a new concierge. I don't know if you've met her. Has she worked yet? Emily? Okay. Emily Parker. She is picking up evenings and weekends in the concierge desk, so go by and say hello to her. Am I missing something up there? Okay. Right. All right, and that's really going to wrap up what I have, but we did forget one award earlier, and this goes to our leader of the quarter, and we got a nice pin here for you, Angie. It goes to our very own Angelique Anthony of Human Resources. This is a well-deserved award. Congratulations. You want to say a speech?
No, I just, thank you for this. I've worked in a lot of places, on global levels, but my purpose, I feel, is here. So I just hope that I continue the road traveled here at Cypress Village. I love you guys. I love coming to work every single day. I feel like this is home. So it's my honor. So thank you very much.
Well said, Angie. If you can only imagine what's happened in the world of human resources in the last 2.5 years. So God bless her. She's here with us. She shows up every day. And thank you, Angie, for all you did. That's going to end it for me. Thank you all for your attention. Good to see everybody.
Hi, including Angelique. You are doing a wonderful job. So many new people, that you've been able to hire. Thank you so much. I wanted to remind everybody the next community meeting is October 11th at 10 o'clock, right here. I also wanted you to take a look at the occupancy report that Tony, every month, he gets with the business office and gets the data and inserts it into this document. So you may want to take the time to take a look. We're really filling up. And that concludes today's meeting. Don't forget to get your questions into Unfiltered, and it goes to
life@cypressvillageretirement.com.
And the next meeting is first Friday of each month directly after coffee chat. Thank you so much for coming.